you. The next speaker is a national representative of Islam from Lahore. So Professor Omer Farooq, I don't know whether this is part of your short contribution, but I remember a tradition from the Prophet teaching that unfortunately the Muslim community in the end of times might be divided into sects. And so the sectarian approach can be part of the decadence of the Muslim community at a certain moment in time. And I think maybe we can be helped by your inspiration on how to go to the concrete, wise approach within the Muslim Ummah in Pakistan. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon, everyone. So basically, as a student of knowledge, when I was informed about the topic of this panel discussion, I did some research before coming here. And as I already knew about the pluralistic mindset and the pluralistic approach in academia as well, the very traditional, very famous narrative regarding the religious dialogue is that it should happen. It's very good, sounds very nice. In fact, sounds cute, according to me. But on the other hand, as I was doing the research, I also came across another narrative, which was a parallel narrative to what we really hear. Recently, there was a researcher who completed his PhD on the topic of a theory of withdrawal of faith in interreligious dialogue. When I came across this theory, it was really surprising for me, basically, to see, and of course, he was awarded the PhD degree for it. Of course, he had his arguments for the theory. Just to introduce you, withdrawal of faith basically is, according to this theory, that in order to commence a interreligious dialogue, unless both the parties or both the people who are about to commence the dialogue, if they don't practice withdrawal of faith from their respective faiths, of course, this dialogue cannot result in something fruitful, according to this theory. This was really surprising for me, but then when I did a little more research on this fact, that it is a reality, not of course 100%, but on the other hand, if you see in the society here where we live, when two people, of course it works in both ways as well, interreligious as well, and intra-religious as well. And by intra-religious, I mean between the two sects of the same religion. But that's not the point of concern at this moment for me. It is interreligious for me at this moment. And at the start of that dialogue, if two people are so staunch in their approach, that before they know that, but no matter what happened at the end of this dialogue, I'm where I'm staying at this moment, in my heart and my belief, I will stay there forever. Of course, it's a good thing to practice, of course. This is what the religion teaches. At least in Islam, we do have such verses which do not allow us to withdraw our faith in any case. I'm not sure about Christianity or other scriptures. The panel can confirm me that whether there is any verse in the Christian Bible or in Buddhist scriptures that stops you from withdrawing the faith or upgrading the faith or whatever. But on the other hand, this was really interesting for me. But then I had to find a middle path, what basically can be the middle path between these two extremes. And then I concluded that there is another type of dialogue. One dialogue, of course, is an interreligious dialogue, which is religious in nature, and the other one is social in nature, and that is the social dialogue, which is happening right from the start of what we see the religions we do practice here in the world, majority of them. That is the reason why we have been able to survive and coexist in this world at this moment. Unless there was a dialogue, of course, we cannot, of course, survive peacefully in an environment like this. So this, of course, is also an example in this conference is like this. So a social dialogue, which is a necessity for us to understand each other. And when I went a little step further, I concluded that there is one thing which is sharing your knowledge and experience with the other person religiously as well, which is also very much possible according to me. And I think even if we start in the beginning, if we have this basic narrative of us, if we are not so staunch in approaching towards this interreligious harmony and to practice this pluralistic approaches which we do have in academia, I think this is very necessary for us to find that middle path between these two extremes, which is to start with sharing your knowledge and experience religiously as well as we've been doing socially. So I would like to conclude with that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Farooq. Thank you also for being very on time and having approached a very interesting combination, if I may say, of theory and practice, religiously oriented management of pluralism and socially oriented implementation of some principles in the challenges of society.